Good evening, everyone. This is Dale. We're going to get started. I appreciate you being with us tonight. I hope you guys had a great weekend. There's a couple of announcements and updates. I want to remind you guys about Atlanta coming up August 4th through the 6th. This is going to be the first ever national convention for MPB today, and we're expecting it to be awesome. I just know this is going to be unlike anything that you've ever really seen or attended before. I've over the years, over the last 10 years or so, I've had the opportunity to speak at different conferences, and quite frankly, it's really been shocking to me at some of the conferences and some of the I don't know, for lack of a better term, fluff, I guess, that goes on. And I remember sitting in a meeting with the company owner and some of the VPs of the company, and, you know, their whole thing about the conference was, should we have a country band or should we have a top 40 band? And it was like, you know, my whole position was, guys, this is about bringing people in and helping them with the skill sets and mindsets necessary so they can go back and really take their success to a new level. And it's just like sometimes it seems that companies have lost what the conference really, the purpose of the conference and what it's really about. And, I feel like this is going to be a very, very special event. And, I know most of you that are on this call, you've already booked your tickets and you're planning on being there and looking forward to it as much as we are. But I just want to remind you, and the best thing you can do for a person on your team, the very best thing you can do is to promote and do whatever you can do to get them to a national conference. And you'll know exactly after you've been, you'll know that it was different than anyone you've ever attended. And of course we have the Run to Atlanta contest. I was going to mention that tonight. We have details on that at dndteamtraining.com, how you gain points for that, and prizes, and it's going to be a great time. We'll talk about that more in the future, but if you aren't familiar with it, you can visit the qualifications, and I would print them, and I would be keeping track of it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for sure, where your MP bucks are coming from and how many you're going to have, and it's going to be a great, great time. I got a couple of announcements just on the I Get Mine Free system. Again, when people join, you get three different websites, which is igetminefree.com, recordedwebinar.com, as well as noautoship.com. And probably one night here in the future, we'll get into a little bit more details on this. Any if you have support questions from a technical standpoint at all, please contact customer care at COA Network, and you see the phone number there on your screen. It's 1-800-454-5930. A couple of things I do want to address about that tonight. Number one, we can not make changes to your website. If we make changes to your website, you make changes to all the websites. So they can't go in and move your picture here or do anything like that. I mean, if you want to get that done, you can just have somebody build you a website. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do. So we can't change anything, and then there's some things we cannot change, and because again, if we make a change to one person's site, it has to be on everybody's site. And then the other thing that we will not change is, I'm getting people that are saying, Dale, I want to make it required that people leave their phone number. And guys, here's what I want to tell you about this. I've been around this so many times over the since 1994, we put up our first website. And we've looked at this every day from every single way we possibly can. We've looked at the data every way that we possibly can. we've analyzed it over and over and over. And when we originally set up I Get Mine Free, as most of you know, it was just for Dawn and I. We weren't really planning on making it available to anybody else. But I think the thing I want to realize, we're using these 3 sites to create leads and build our business. That's what we're doing. That's where we're sending every single person. We send them to one of those 3 sites, depending upon their background. All of our local marketing is where I Get Mine Free. I mean, we get home this afternoon, we've got 29 leads sitting there, you know, that people have left their information. We got 17 for I Get Mine Free and 9 for recorded webinar and 3 for noautoship.com. And I'm going to put out the best website that I possibly can to build my own business. So going back to the phone number thing, when we first started this, we had one lady that was relentless on me. Please add the phone number, please add the phone number, please add the phone number. She was like a parrot. And would not, because when we first started it, if you want to increase your odds, if you want to capture the most amount of data possible, then you collect their name and their email. You don't even have a phone number area there. So as soon as we, you know, this has been several months ago, when we decided to add the phone number, then of course everybody suffered because the amount of data that was collected just dropped off drastically. So then we kind of went to this. Now people have the option. If they want to put the phone number in, great. If they don't, that's fine. I know if you require a phone number, the amount of data that you get drops off tremendously. And see, all I want is the data so I can follow up with email. And of course the system does that automatically for you. And that's the way we've set all this up. And again, we're using it to build our own personal business. If I thought that a phone number would help in any way, shape, or form, I would definitely do that. But I know, and tests have shown over and over again, it actually decreases your response rate. So that's why we don't put a phone number there. I'm getting a lot of people that say, Dale, when I get the phone number, what should I say when I call back? And it's the same thing every time, guys. This is Dale Calvert calling you from Atlanta, Georgia. You visit my website about the free grocery program, and I just wanted to check with you and see what questions we need to get answered for you before we get you started as an affiliate. And you know, I'm going for it. I'm asking them to marry me on the first date. I'm not trying to date somebody, you know, and that's the best way I know how to explain it, because quite frankly, there's too much low-lying fruit out there for us to try to, you know, razzle and dazzle and beat around the bush with this. If they're interested, I want to know. We'll get their questions answered. If they're not interested, no problem at all. That's no problem at all. You know, next. But again, because a lot of this is where MPP is as a company right now, and what's going to happen over the next, you know, 2 or 3 years. And, you know, there might be a time 10 years from now where, you know, that approach will change, but it's not right now based upon the timing of this company. You know, we don't have to take the time now to try to date everybody that comes to our website, and that's the best way I know to describe it. Down the road, you know, again, that could change possibly, but based upon where the company is, in the history of this company, I mean, we haven't even got started yet. I mean, literally have not got started yet. It ran through all the affiliate marketers online who, you know, have been in 17 programs since they joined MPB and are constantly promoting new programs. And we, you know, but the average person out there in your neighborhood has never heard the initials or the word MPB today. So we haven't even scratched the surface yet of where we're going. So that's really, you know, has something to do with it. But I just needed to I guess the thing I want you guys to understand is Don and I are using this to build our business, and obviously we want to get the best possible results that we can, and the websites that we're using are the exact same ones that you're using. The emails that we send out through the autoresponder system are the exact ones you have the option to use that are built into the system. You can change them if you want to, if you choose to do that, or remove some or add. You have full control over what you want to do, but the websites are the websites, and we cannot make any changes on those. Couple of other things. Normally at this time we would talk about company reports and recognize our top company report winners. You know, I have not even gone to that file on my computer since I've got home. Just haven't had the time to do it. Again, we were in Nashville, most of you know, this past weekend. But I do want to tell you, between now and the conference, you need to be submitting that to www.thempbblog.com, because even our team members, because you want to get credit for that towards the auction that we're having in Atlanta at the national conference. And they're going to compile that data there and make sure you get $2 every time you submit every Sunday night between now and Atlanta, that you go to the www.thempbblog.com, submit your company report. It's going to trigger, you know, $2 for you that you can use to bid on cash and prizes that we're having in Atlanta. So that's where you need to submit that. And again, because it's going to give you points for the race to Atlanta. Nashville was awesome. I had some other pictures I was going to share with you guys. And that's when my computer started having a little bit of problems. So this is as far as I got on the webinar slides tonight. So don't think that there's more slides and you're not seeing it. There's nothing else I can put up, because this is as far as I got before I started having computer problems. So I'm going to try to kind of explain what I want to share with you tonight, basically just without the use of any kind of slides. But just for those of you that don't know, over to the left there's William Portillo. William is the Spanish translator for all the Phase 4. He's out in California building an awesome team, and just a great, great human being. And first time we had the opportunity to meet him personally, talk to him obviously on the phone many times, and it was just good to meet William. And then Gary, and those of you that were on Pete's call, heard the 90-year-old lady that was coming to the event and driving all night. That's Gary, had her up front speaking. And those of you that maybe were with us years ago in a company called New Image, if the guy to the right there looks familiar, that is Anthony Heflin. Awesome guy and a good friend of mine, and it's been neat to be able to reconnect with him through MPB today. And there was Nashville, quite frankly, I felt out of sync the entire time. And I think because we were running a little bit behind on some of the scheduling, and that kind of puts a little bit of stress. But I think the main thing is there was just so many people there that were part of our team that I hadn't had the opportunity to meet yet. And we had people come in we had Bo Bridgewater and his wife came in from the Portland area, and we had a gentleman there from Frisco, Texas. And, you know, I used to live not too far from Frisco, Texas, so it's kind of neat to meet him. And had a guy from Lexington, Kentucky that was like on our third level, and there was another couple from Maryland that had drove there. There was people there from 25 states. And, guys, that speaks such volumes about what we've got our hands on. I have never, ever in my career had a Super Saturday event where you had people from 25 states there. I have never seen that, ever. National conference, absolutely, but not a Super Saturday, Friday night, Saturday event. And we had people there from 25 different states. I mean, it's just remarkable. So many good people, and I'm just trying to remember names and faces, but it's good to put some names and faces together. You know, we went to the Grand Ole Opry Saturday night and just had an awesome time. Tonight, what I want to share with you, you know, when I sit back and I look at the last 4 or 5 events that we've had with the company, from the first one down in Gulfport to this last one this past weekend, and there's no more Super Saturdays. The next event now is the national conference. And I've had a chance to meet a lot of people from a lot of different areas, and, different levels of commitment to what's going on. But obviously, if somebody takes the time to get to one of these events and they spend a weekend, I mean, their commitment level and their want to is pretty high. And they're, if nothing else, they're really giving this program a serious look. And, that's all you could want from people. And when I sit back and I look at it, there's a group of people that right now in this company that have decided, and that's the key word, decided to become a diamond, and they are on track. They are on the track to do so. Okay, they are on track to making that happen. And there's another group that have decided to be a diamond, but they're maybe not on track, but they really made that decision that they want to, and they're going to, but they're not on track to make that happen. And then the third group is people that are they're here, they like it, and man, they just want to cycle 1 time or 2 times, or if they can get to that third cycle. And they have not decided to become a diamond. And, I'm all for people, I think that until you decide to become a diamond, it's not going to happen, that's for sure. And I'm all for people getting here and getting committed at their pace and getting plugged in at their pace. But for me, and when I really look at network marketing is about wealth creation. And I talked about this some this weekend. It's about, instead of taking 30 to 50 years to develop wealth, it's the ability to take that and condense it in 3 to 5 years. And it is going to be 3 to 5 years. It's not going to happen for most people in 2 months or 3 months. It's going to take time, energy, and effort, and you have to have the right mindset, and it takes time to develop, to constantly improve your mindset. It takes time to develop the correct skill set. And, there's a lot of you right now, those of you that are on track to becoming a diamond, you are on track. And the reason you're on track is because your skill sets are being developed. You're earning while you're learning, a lot of you. Your mindsets are being developed. Some of you came here with good skill sets and a decent mindset, and that's why you're on track. And if you continue to develop and learn and refine what you're doing, you're actually on track. And if you stay on track, there's no way you cannot get there. And then the people that have decided, and this is one of my main points tonight, there's some of you that have decided to become a diamond. You have great skill sets, you have good mindsets, but you're not getting your opportunity, the MPB Today opportunity. You're not giving enough people the opportunity to evaluate it to create any momentum in your group. So if you have made that decision and you don't feel like you're on track, first thing I'm going to tell you probably are on track. If you're cycling, consistently and your team is moving forward, then you're on track. You're going to get better. It's only going to get better. But if you're just kind of stifled, you're either one of 2 things, and these are the first group of people I want to talk to. People have decided, but they just kind of feel stifled. If you're stifled, it's only one of 2 things. Number one, and this is it for most of you, is the numbers are not where they need to be. So, after you have your foundations in place, what you do, how you do it, your recruiting cycle, what happens. And again, recruiting is a process. It's not an event. And after you have the process, the play one, play two, and you get that and you understand that, then it comes down to sheer numbers. If you're doing the numbers and you're talking to a lot of people on the phone, and a lot, I'm saying 10 to 15 a week. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you're talking to 10 or 15 a week, then, and things are not clicking for you, then I want you to, if you're talking to 10 or 15 a week, and when I say talking to, I mean people that have gone to one of your websites, they viewed the opportunity 2 or 3 times, and they give you a call, or you follow up with them with the question, hey, I see you've been to this is Dale Calvert calling you from Atlanta, I see you've been to my website a couple of times, just want to check with you, see what questions you have for me to answer or need to be answered before we get you started as an affiliate. But if you're not having 10 to 15 conversations with people that have gone through the process, then it's numbers. That's where you need to ask yourself, how do I increase my numbers? What am I, and just make a list of the things that you could be doing that you're not doing. And all of us would love to find one thing that we could do that would automatically create 100 people to our websites every day filling out the forms. And, some days I might have, I've had 30, 40 people in a day that left their information, but it's always followed by major promotion. So what I do from a personal standpoint is I try to take about an hour, 45 minutes every day and promote. And that might be, some might be on Facebook, some might be Craigslist, Backpage. I'm a member of several safe lists that I email out. I do all these different activities that we've talked about, that we have webinars about, but I think that I do it consistently. I don't miss 2 days in a row. I might miss a day here and there, but I'm consistently promoting. And, I hear people say, well, Dale, I put 10 ads on Backpage and I only got 3 people to my website. What should I do? Run 10 more? Run 10 more. It's numbers. Now, if you're willing to spend money, there's a lot more things that you can do. And the best bang for the buck that we have found is the road signs. And I know some of you, I talked to a guy a couple of weeks ago down in Florida getting 250 leads a week just from road signs he's putting out in Florida. The first time we put them out, within 24 hours, we had 16, 17 calls. So they work. They absolutely work. They will work. And, but we've talked about so many things. But what I want to share with you, for many of you, you're right on track. It just comes down to lead generation. Now, if you're talking to 10 to 15 people a week that have been through your website, and you're calling them or they're calling you, and you're not creating any kind of momentum, this is what I really want you to, if I'm speaking to you, then it's probably the fact that you're trying too hard. And when you get on the phone, when somebody calls you, listen, you do not have to sell them on this program. They're already 3/4 of the way sold, if not 90% sold. Most of the time, they just want to make sure there's another human being on the end of the phone. If you're selling, they're backing away from you. If you're selling it too hard, they're backing away from you. The other factor, and this is so critical, is where are you coming from when you're talking to them? Are you value focused? Are you really? Are you income focused? Or are you survival focused? See, when you're talking to somebody on the phone, you have to understand here's what they have to hear from you. This person knows where they're going, and if I join with them, they'll take me with them. They'll take me with them. This person knows where they're going, and if I join with them, they're going to take me where they're going. It's not, and you cannot do that if you're thinking, oh, great, if they join, I'm going to make $50. This is a leadership development business. That's what network marketing is. It's about developing leaders. It's about you becoming the best leader you possibly can. And one of the very first steps is to understand that you can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. It's not about you. It's about building people, focusing, helping people, getting people plugged in to the world, as we've talked about many times. You know, Pete's calls in the mornings, Tuesday and Thursday night conference calls, these webinars, you know, Phase 4 CD, getting people plugged into the world and helping them move forward. It's not about getting them in. It's about getting people involved with you, getting them in, keeping them in, and moving them forward. And people have to feel like, you know, this person has my best interest at heart. You know, and it's almost comical to me sometimes because I'll get on the phone. I got this one guy that's been calling me every other week for, you know, a couple months, and he just keeps, you know, he's expecting the big close, and the big close is not coming. It's not coming. I don't want the big close, because if I have to convince somebody to join, they're never going to do anything after they get here. They're never going to do anything after they get here. So, you know, if you're either on track and you're moving forward, you're progressing, or, you know, you've committed, I'm going to become a diamond, and you're on track and things are moving forward, or you've committed and maybe things aren't where that you want them to be. If they're not where you want them to be, it's either numbers or where you're coming from when you're communicating with people. And a lot of times people just try too hard. I believe the best people that have ever come and have ever come to MPB today already were not sold on the program. They sold themselves. They sold themselves. And I know that if people keep looking, they will sell themselves. And the best thing to do when somebody asks you a question is to send them to a third party to answer it. And so if somebody says, well, Dale, can you tell me more about, you know, whatever you want to bring up. And, you know, we talked about the MPB Diamond site. We got a lot of videos there. You can send people directly to the video if you want. But the best thing you can do is when somebody asks you a question, if it's not just, you know, real simple, the best thing you can do is kind of isolate the question. If we can get that answered for you, when would you be ready to get started? If you're taking notes, you know, if they call, hey, if we can get that answered for you, when would you be ready to get started? And let them tell you. And they say, well, I don't know, because I would like to know about this too. I'd like to know about that. But when you get a question, it's just, hey, if we can get that answered for you, when would you be ready to get started? Real simple. It's the same thing every time. And then the next thing is, they say, well, Dale, if I can get that answered, I'm ready to get started now. Okay, and it's Monday night. Now, you can get the best thing you can do is just get an upline on the phone right then. And I'd say, hey, this is, you know, hey, Joe, this is Dale, and I've got Sally on the phone with me. She's got a question. Do you have time to answer it for her? And then you kind of try to edify your upline a little bit. This person's been involved in the company about 5 months. They're a Go distributor. They're building a great team. And Joe meets Sally. Sally's down in, you know, she's down in Fort Lauderdale, and she's never been in this industry before, and she has an important question. And let Sally answer the question. I mean, just basic no pressure type of situation. So, and then if you don't have that ability to do that or get a hold of somebody right then it's Sally, what are you doing tomorrow night? Nothing. Well, let me get you have a pen. Yes, write down this number. Give them the corporate conference call number and ask her to call you back after it's over. Because whatever questions are answered, they'll probably be answered on that corporate call. And when they hear Ted and Sue and Mark and all the people on that call, they're going to get a feel for the kind of people that are involved in this company. And that's the most important thing that can happen for them. Because all they want to know is this person plugged in and locked in, or are they doing this in 17 other deals? I had somebody a couple of weeks ago, they said, well, what other programs are you doing besides MPB? And I said, are you kidding me? They said, no, what other programs are you doing? And I said, look, I am 100% focused, loyal, dedicated. You can only build one team at a time, and this is what I'm doing. And he said, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. And he joined, a gentleman out in Texas. So, and if you're not that way, then, you don't need to even be talking to anybody. Just say, look, and send them to somebody who's upline, who's focused, plugged in, and dedicated, really. I mean, because you got to get that way. And I understand there's a lot of people and they're doing affiliate marketing, and that's okay. But if you're going to build a network marketing organization, you're fooling yourself if you think, you're going to build 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time. You can lead 1,000, but you can't carry 4 on your back, and people are not going to follow you if you don't know where you're going. So the other factor, and this is another point that I wanted to share with you tonight because this is important, and I don't want you guys to take this wrong, because I think the most important thing for new people to focus on is have a big dream and make that diamond. Get to diamond. Yeah, there's steps along the way that you want to reach, and that's great, but you have to be thinking about diamond. I want to become a diamond. Now, when we got involved, that's all I was thinking about, 100%. And the reason to become a diamond is because you maximize the pay plan. You maximize the coding bonuses at diamond at the $200 level. I mean, we've been gone this weekend, come back, and there's somebody that I had sponsored maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they cycle for the first time. They're brand new. They're frontline to us. That triggered a $200 coding bonus. Now, 80 would have been awesome, if I was a bronze, but being able to maximize the comp plan is why you want to become a diamond, okay, from a financial standpoint. But this is the main point. You are not working to become a diamond. You are working to develop a group of leaders. A diamond represents somebody that at that point should have a group of up-and-coming leaders. The name of the game, see, I don't really focus on titles as much as I do what is the production that's being created. It's the production, it's the leadership. Who's up and coming? Who do we have that's going to step into a leadership role with this program? And if somebody starts off, and they cycle 3 or 4 times real fast, I've had people that have done that, and I knew they would never be a diamond here, that they were a flash in the pan when they got here. And I can get all fired up about that, or I can be real about it. And, to me, it's about developing a team. You're putting together a team of people. That's your job here, is to become the very best leader you possibly can so you can develop other leaders. It's not about a specific title. And I think back, a few years ago, and I had people that were at the top position on my team, and I had one guy that was making $40,000 a month, and I had a lot of people in the $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a month range. And I had another guy that his check, I don't know if it ever broke $1,000. I remember when I was doing the analysis, it was $880. And I'm thinking to myself, same company, same product, same opportunity, same position in the comp plan. One is at $880 and one's at $41,000. What's the difference? One worked as hard as they could work to get a title, and the other worked to develop leaders. We are in the leadership development business. And, you know, we talk about how many people have come into MPB and how great it is. The only value in that reality is it solidifies the fact that the reason the company has exploded is because we have great seed. We have a great message for the marketplace, for this economy. Groceries and food, and anything Walmart, Sam's Club sells, I mean, that makes a difference for people. It makes a huge difference for people. So the fact that we've had all these people join is awesome. Okay, but that in and of itself doesn't mean anything, because it's about not people getting in, it's people getting in, getting plugged in, and moving forward. And I can tell you right now that at least half of the people that have joined this company never got plugged in. They never got plugged in. Half of the people that joined this company could, if I could write them a check tonight for $1 million, and all they have to do is log into their MPB Today back office, they couldn't do it. They don't know what their name is. They don't know their password. They don't even remember the initials MPB. They can't even remember. They know it's some grocery program that they got excited about for 10 minutes and joined. And they don't even remember the login or the password. They haven't been to their back office probably since the day they joined. Now, that can be prevented by every single one of us on this phone by taking the time to at least get people plugged in, do our very best. See, just because they joined you doesn't mean squat. Now, here's the reality. It doesn't matter what you do or I do. A lot of them will never get plugged in. But we have to at least give them the chance to get plugged in. And you can do that. Every one of you on the phone can do that. You can share with them the numbers, the conference call, and make sure, ask them to sign up for the company newsletter in the back office. You can do all of that. But so the fact that we've had awesome numbers and the fact that next year, I mean, we're going to blow out the rest of this year, and next year is going to be off the charts growth. But getting them in means nothing. It's not about getting people in. It's about finding people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, share the opportunity, get them plugged into what's going on, and help them move forward. Now, and all you can do is all you can do. Your success is not dependent, their success is not dependent upon you. You do the best you can. The only person's success you can control is the person staring you back in the mirror. That's it. You know, the information is here right now that will take anybody that gets plugged into it diamond. It's already here. Will there be even more things in the future that will help even more? Absolutely. There will be. There will be. But there's enough information right here to take anybody that's never been involved in this industry, who understands that I'm going to have to learn new skill sets, new attitudes to move forward, to take them to wealth in 3 to 5 years, not 3 to 5 months. 3 to 5 months, you know, they can have some momentum and they can be moving forward, but they aren't going to get wealthy. and they aren't going to anywhere. And anybody that tells you that they can, it's not true. So I was right there, okay. So we got people. 50% have not done anything. And again, we're gonna build this company. We're not gonna build it with 70% of the people that come in it. 70% of the people that join, we're not gonna build it. We're gonna build it with the other 30%. And I love that. That's we can win so big playing right there. But it's like, I was thinking about this tonight, and you guys, most of you know I'm a big UK basketball fan. I like the football program, and I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. And a lot of times I just kind of compare everything to sports. But there's been times in my life when I've had a ticket to the game, and I never even got in the stadium. I never made it to the stadium. And in MPB, we got a lot of people, they bought their $210 ticket to the game, but they never even got in the stadium. And then we have people, you go into Rupp Arena and there's 23,000 people sitting in the stands watching the game. And what happened, and that's kind of all we want people to do when they first get in. I just want to get them in the stands. I want them watching. If they have to watch and listen to the game, watch and listen to the game. Because if they listen in every morning at 11 o'clock to the wake-up call, and if they listen to the corporate call, and if they can get on the CDs on Phase 4, and if they attend one of these regional events, if we can get them in the stadium, then eventually they're going to want to play, and they will move from the stadium to the bench. And in basketball, you got 5 people out there playing per team at any one given time. So I look at it like the people on the bench are the people that have decided that they're going to be a diamond, but they're not in the rhythm of the business yet. But they've made that decision. We got them from the stadium to the bench, and eventually we have to get them out on the court and playing the game and in the rhythm of the game, where they're doing it on a consistent basis, because consistency is what ultimately creates success. The good thing about the MPB game is we can fill the court up with players, and once that's done, we have an unlimited number of courts to put people out. We don't have to limit it to 5 people at once. So that's the process, guys, is we have to get ourselves in the game and playing the game and consistent in a rhythm, or when somebody says, hey, I might want to join your team, they want to join with somebody that's focused on the game, not somebody sitting outside the stadium thinking about maybe going and sitting in the stands. So, success in network marketing has never been about finding the right person. It's in becoming the right person. And Jim Burt, I can remember the tape when I heard that, and it hit me, because up until that time, I really thought it was about finding the right person. And he said, stop. Develop yourself first, and the people will find you. You develop yourself first, the people will find you. He talks about most people get in this business, and they're chasing the money. And money is an elusive rabbit that you cannot catch. You cannot catch a rabbit. You develop yourself first, the money flows to you. That's just the way this works. You develop yourself first, you develop your leadership, the money comes to you. It's like, listen to it. This is the way it's set up, and we continually try to shortcut it. It's like Zig Ziglar talking about priming the pump, and you can pump it, and you pump that outdoor water pump, and my grandmom used to have one, and pump it and pump it and pump it, And you have to pump it before the water flows. But once it flows, you just keep a steady pressure on it, and it just flows. Once you're in the rhythm, this business works. You know, it's like you've got to put wood in the stove before you get heat. You know, a lot of people, they get an MPB, and it's like they think it's a magic lamp or the lottery or something. And as soon as this company pays me, as soon as this company starts paying off, then I'm going to really get serious, and I'm going to get some of those road signs, Dale. I'm going to come to one of those events. As soon as this company starts paying off, well, I promise you, MPB's not going to ever pay off. It's not going to pay you off. You create your wealth, your success, or your failure with this company. It's not the company's responsibility to make you successful. It's your own. And there's no company in the world that will make you successful. And people have spent years trying to find that magic company. Guys, I mean, I used to tell people, guys, you gotta, most people get involved, they throw their distributor kit under the couch, and every now and then they get it out and rub on it like it's a magic Aladdin lamp or something, expecting $100 bills to fly out of it. No, there's reasons this works. There's reasons it will work for you. You are in a culture that anything that you want to happen can happen for you with this company, but only because of the timing of the company. See, a lot of you have been involved in companies, and you've been taught success principles that you know are the wisdom of the ages. You know it's true, that you have to know what you want before and work towards that. And you know, when you talk about any of the success concepts you want out of Think and Grow Rich or the book of Proverbs in the Bible, it's all right there. And you have to have those right mindsets. You have to develop some skill sets. But if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong company, all the positive thinking in the world, all the right thought process in the world is not going to be that much of a benefit for you. It might help you some, but it's not going. You have to understand where we are in the whole scope of everything, not just the economy. You know, the economy and how gas and groceries play into that. But we're in front of the grocery delivery trend, and we have an opportunity as a company to tell people the truth, to tell them to get their thumb out of their mouth and start taking some responsibility, and really rewrite the history of this industry. I mean, that's where we all are right now. And I know already that all over this country, we have people right now that over the last 2 or 3 months have come inside the stadium and sit in the stands for a while. And then they ease their way down to the bench, and they are chomping at the bit to get in the game and win the game. And there's going to be so many more. And, Don and I, every Sunday night, we go out to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and get coffee. It's kind of part of our old people routine. And I said, the thing that scares me the most right now is there's so many good people in this company that will never, because they already have some talent and they already have some skill, they'll never develop and they'll never have what I call the leadership development paradigm shift. And they'll never realize that it's not about really, and it is about this, but it's not really, when you peel the onion away, as Pete would say, it's not really about becoming a diamond, even though that should be everybody's focus. It's not there yet. But what we're trying to do, what we try to communicate to you guys in the culture that we're creating here and the environment is to put together the structure that enables you to develop leaders, because that's really what it's about. And it's finding and developing leaders and creating an environment where those 27 percenters can thrive. And that's what we're putting together. And quite frankly, in my opinion, that's what most companies miss, even the good ones. The good companies miss the fact that it's not about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person, and about creating the support structure for people that will take the time to learn, grow, and develop, become all that they can become. You build people, people build the business. And that's just, the only company that has really, in my opinion, has ever really grasped that has been Amway. And, I love that company for that reason, because you got people that spent time there and they can run through rock walls. Now, they weren't ever going to make any money to speak of, because it's just way the time. It's not the right time and it's not the right place. That's why you got people moving to third world countries from the United States, because Amway's opening up there. And they never stop them, and I don't want to go down that road, but you all know what I'm talking about. If you've been around this industry any time, you are in the right place at the right time, period. But just because you're here does not entitle you to set your family up for the rest of their life. Just because you're here, if you're on the right road, even if you just sit there, you get run over. Eventually, you have to come out of the stands and get on the bench, and eventually, you're going to have to get in the game and play the game. And if you will play the game here, the support structure is going to be there to make sure that it all is everything that it possibly can be for you. So the two strongest words in the dictionary in the American language, the two strongest words, what are they? Number one is to decide. Decide. And number two is to change. Some of you have decided and you want it so bad, but you just are not willing to change. And, it's like, I want to do this, I'm going to do it, but you're not willing to give up, the electronic income reducer. You're not willing to turn off the TV if that's what it takes. You're not willing to not volunteer for every single thing, every function the school or the church has. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have, and it's going to take sacrifice. And this is something, Don and I have talked about quite a bit in the last 90 days. And it's going to take it, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Successful people are willing to do for a short period of time what most people aren't, so they can do for the rest of their life what most people can't. And it starts with a decision, and then the decision has to come, and then you're going to have to make some changes, and then it's just a matter of learning and focusing your mind on the right things. I know that there's many of you listening to me tonight. We got a jam-packed house that are 100% committed and in a rhythm with this business. And there's some of you, you've watched yourself come from outside the stadium to in the stands to on the bench to playing the game. And I've talked about this in other ways, where you start to crawl, then you walk, and eventually you have to run. And the thing I'm going to leave you with tonight Guys, if you want to make an extra couple $100, don't do network marketing and don't do MPB. If you want to make a few hundred extra bucks, don't do network marketing and don't do MPB, because you don't do anybody any justice. You'd be much better off selling hammers at the flea market on the weekend if you want to make a few hundred extra bucks. This is about getting to the top, becoming a diamond, stretching yourself, doing the uncomfortable, and then looking back in the mirror 3 to 5 years from now and think, my gracious, look at what's happened to my life, and look at the difference that it's going to make, not just for my family, but for so many organizations and things that I really believe in. See, that's what, you know, and I keep referring to Pete because I listen to him every morning, but he talks about that's where the juice comes from. That's where the passion comes from. And that is absolutely, positively, that's where it comes from, is knowing that you got on the court and you gave it everything you had every day. How many times have I heard Gary say, every night when I put my head on the pillow, I know that I've done all I can do to support my distributors and the growth of this organization. You know, there's not and see, that's, you know, for those of you that were there in Nashville this weekend, so there's 5 reasons MPB is going to rewrite network marketing history. And number 1 is the people. And we have people right now already here that are 100% loyal, focused, dedicated to making not just their own financial wealth, but this company something that's never been done before. You look at the diamonds, and again, I'm so thankful because that first night that I listened in, I knew that there were some really good-hearted people that really wanted to help their fellow man involved at the top of this company. I knew that. And it's only going to get better. But you need to move forward as quickly as you possibly can. Get out of the stands and get on the bench if you're not there. If you're on the bench, you know, the bench isn't any fun. Get in the game and, you know, get knocked down and get up one more time. Let somebody hit you right flat in the nose, but know that nobody's going to keep you down. Only difference between a big shot and a little shot, the big shot's a little shot that keeps shooting. And like you all have heard me say, man, I wanted to quit this industry every day the first 3 years I was in it. Every single day. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I realize, you know, now at this point, it's the easiest thing that I've ever done in my life. And it will get easier for you. It becomes more comfortable. Just know why you're doing it. Say, I'm going to become a diamond. I'm going to become the best leader I can be, and I'm going to focus on not pushing people, but focus on inspiring people to become the best they can be, not for me, but what it's going to mean for themselves. And if you get your attitudes right and you wrap your mind around the law of the world that we live in, the yin and the yang, if you really understand it, you know, then and you just work with it and don't fight it, then this business, how does it become easy, Dale? It becomes easy when you get the emotions out of it and you understand your success is dependent on what you do daily and nobody else. There's nobody else's success or failure you can control but your own. And just be determined that no matter what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I am not going to look back. I'm not looking to the right or the left. I got the blinders on, and I'm with the people that I want to be with. I'm with the ownership of the company I want to be with, and I'm going to make it happen here. I'm planning right now. I'm planning in the ground, and I'm going to go for it. And I hope this was, I wanted this tonight. I just wanted to encourage you. But, and it would be so much easier for me if I didn't know the truth. Because when you're ignorant, you don't know the difference. You can just rah, 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 go team. You can come from that. But the truth is, 70% of the people are going to die broke. And you're not going to change it, and I'm not going to change it, and MPP today's not going to change it. We could wish it, we could change it, but we aren't going to change it. And part of success for me was just understanding what I could control and what I couldn't, and not worry about it. So my curse is always just talk. I just cannot, rah, 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 rah. I'm going to applaud you, but the thrill for me is to see you walk across the stage as a diamond. But no matter how bad I want it for you, until you decide it's going to happen for you, no matter what, it ain't going to happen. Because ultimately, everything can be in place for you, but you still got to put one foot in front of the other. All right, guys. Hopefully next week we'll have what we're used to with the webinar and everything, and we'll have some slides. Just make this an awesome, awesome week, and go out there, scratch some people off your list. Get the emotion out of it, get through the numbers, have fun, and understand you're part of something really, really special right now, and we really are history in the making. I absolutely feel that with everything within me. So have an awesome week. It was a pleasure meeting so many of you in Nashville this past weekend. It really was. It was really cool. For those of you that were in Nashville this weekend, I'd leave you with one thought, and that is get 50 no's as soon as you can. And we've talked about that in the past on these webinars. But, go out there and get some no's this week, and it'll take you closer to why you're here and your reasons. I appreciate you guys. Have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you next week. Good night.